US oil. And on the US oil, we actually have been expecting a bullish momentum here on the US oil, but unfortunately price has continued to trend to the downside. But if you are taking advantage of this move that happened yesterday, I actually took advantage of this move yesterday, and price went to as far about over 240 pips before we saw the sharp um, pullback to the downside here. And if you are taking advantage of that move yesterday, kudos to you for identifying that opportunity. And price has come back to even break down the demand zone. So we had a demand zone that has been holding our structure since the beginning of the week at around the $83 area, and what happened during the early hours of today was a significant breakdown of that demand zone. So now that we have a breakdown of that demand zone, definitely we don't want to be looking for buy opportunity at this point. So what we're going to be doing right now is to have a clean chart. So what I'll be doing is to delete some structures that we no longer need at this point before we move on to what our expectation is going to be like for today. So we still need this demand zone here. The demand zone still appears to be relevant, so we still keep it. So we delete this one, and then what we want to be doing now is to identify a key level. Remember, whenever we cite a breakdown or breakout of structure like this, we expect that price is likely going to come back and do a retest of that structure with the intention of going in the prior leading price actions direction. So what we want to do now is to bring out our line chart, and then let's have a look at a key level that we will be using during the New York session today. So more or less the key level is like our guide. It makes our job very easy when we about to take advantage of any opportunity. So I have somewhere around the $83 area, between the $83 area and the 82.80 cent area, which appears to be most appropriate at this point. So let's see if we are going to be having price come back into this area. As so so we are looking at the $83 area, somewhere around between the $83 area and the $82.80 area. So what we are looking forward to right now is a structure here. So if we had missed this breakdown of structure that happened during the early hours of today, what we want to be looking forward to is a retest of structure. So we are waiting for price to give us further confirmation, which is likely going to come in the form of the retest of the demand zone that was broken during the early hours of today. So let's see if we are going to be having a situation where price comes back into this area with a multiple rejection or probably a reversal pattern. Then we will be looking out for taking advantage of that sell momentum right below that area. So this is how we want to do the US oil for today. So let's be on standby to be able to take advantage of that opportunity as price action is being monitored. So I hope I'm very clear on the US oil here. So our bullish momentum, our bullish perspective has already been negated after that breakdown of that demand zone happened during the early hours of today. So let's continue to look out for selling opportunities on the US oil. And that reminds me, where will our take profit target be if we are going to be selling at that point? Very good question. Okay, so let's look at this. If we are selling right from within this area here, we never can tell where that is going to be. We don't know where our entry point is going to be around this point, but one thing we are looking forward to, like I said, as a reversal pattern from that area or a multiple rejection of that level to join the decline here. Then we should be looking, if we look at the structure we have on the higher time frame here, we can see that we have a descending channel to play around with. So we have the structure here. So we have this resistance point here. We can see price as we've been respecting that trend line in the past. We saw the breakout of the trend line here in the month of August. We saw the respect of that trend line, which also lines up with the key level at $86.50 area. We saw another rejection of that bearish of that trend line as well. So there is a likelihood that price would likely come around that trend line here. That is from a technical standpoint anyway, but it's not all the time price action respects that perspective. So what we're going to be looking at a long-term situation here is somewhere around here, which will be dovetailing to around 600 pips thereabout. But in order not to be too ambitious on this one, then let's see if we have a recent structure that we can use as our guide. Well, the recent structure we have here in the month of September is this area, had the $81.80 area. So price is right around that area. Now let's identify that level. So we have this level around the $81.50 area. So what we're going to be looking forward to right now is a breakdown of that level. So if we have a breakdown of that level, then definitely a retest of that structure should give us an opportunity to join that decline. So we have this scenario here. Hold on a second. So we have, go back to the 1 hour time frame, we have price right back at that level right now. So two things could happen here. We could have price respect that level, that is, buyers could come in a little bit to buy, they might see it a little bit cheaper to buy the US oil, price push up to the upside from this level with the intention of retesting the demand zone here to push price to the downside. That is one scenario we're looking forward to here. And then the other scenario is if we have an outright breakdown of that level. So if we have an outright breakdown of this level and we see a rejection of this level, a retest of structure or somewhere around here, retest of this area or retest of this area, then we want to be looking out for selling opportunities here. And we have our take profit target right within the $75 area and the $77 area. We should be dovetailing to, like I said earlier, a minimum of 500 to 600 pips to catch here. So that is that on the US oil. If you have any questions or you need further clarifications on what I've discussed here on the US oil, feel free to drop